And as us as humans, we need sunlight. Without sunlight, we're doomed. Maybe not. We're doomed. Ah. Hi, Mario from Diarcos here. Hope you're well. Today we're going to be talking about a really important part of gardening, and that is sunlight. So throughout the day, the intensity of the sun changes. Now, how do you know when the intensity is hot or gets high? And how do you know when the intensity is low? Well, put it this way. If you're in a spot in your garden and you're standing there for about 15 to 20 minutes and you're roasting, you know that the intensity is quite high. And vice versa when the intensity is low. So you might be standing there for 15, 20 minutes and you're thinking, oh, I think I'm gonna need a jacket. That's a great indication of how you understand the intensity of certain areas in your garden in regards to planting. So understanding the intensity is really important, because now we can break that into three simple things for you. A spot that's going to get full sun, a spot that's going to be in full shade, and a partly shaded area. So come with me, let's go check out some of these areas and I can go into a little bit more detail about everything I've been talking about. Here we are, we're in an area that gets full hot sun. Obviously there are no overhanging branches, it's a very exposed, very open area. I can feel the rays of the sun really beating down on me. So the intensity of this area is quite high. As I look around here, there's some really hardy and some lovely sun-tolerant plants that really suit this type of area and position quite well. Along the edge of this driveway, you've got the beautiful oriental pearls, which are really hardy, get a beautiful white flower. You've got your hedging plant, which will probably hedge up across this fence line, which is a sweet viburnum. You've got some Australian natives here, again, really, really hardy. This is the Coria alba. And of course, there's some succulents running across this boundary, which is kind of outlining the lawn area. But also look for things that are drought tolerant. Look for things that are low maintenance, because these type of plants, most of them do like that area where it's full sun and where it's quite exposed. It feels really cold in this area because, of course, there's no sunlight that beams down. There's a fence line to my left-hand side. There's a big eucalyptus tree in behind me. So obviously the sun comes over the top, but because it filters through that eucalyptus tree, it's stopping the intensity of the sun beaming down in this area and casts a lot of shade. In regards to planting, shade-loving plants are the way to go. Things like clivias, tree ferns, daphnes, helleborus. In this type of area, you want to make sure that you're not over-watering. And of course, that's a rule of thumb in any type of shade-loving areas. You know, where there's not much sun, doesn't require much water. At the moment, I'm standing in a part of the garden that is a partly shaded area. The intensity of the sun that kind of beams down in these areas are usually quite moderate, so it's not an area which gets full sun all day, and it's not an area that gets shade all day either. Plants that kind of grow around these type of areas, I mean, there's a huge list of them, but look, to give you some insights, and if I look around the garden right now, so things like your ficus flash, which are great for hedging, things like your cutleaf hydrangeas, so the quercifolias. You've got some beautiful ornamental trees like your forest pansy. Partly shaded areas are probably the most common around most households, and it's just due to the fact of the way the sun moves around, and of course that casts off a certain amount of light, which then creates different intensities around your garden. So it's a bit of a different environment here, guys, and that's because we're inside. But look, being inside, the same rules apply as it was outside, same as inside. Of course, outside, we're talking about direct light. Inside, we're talking about filtered light. Now, what is filtered light? So filtered light, obviously, is still generated from the sun from outside, coming inside though. And of course, what happens there is the sunlight from outside comes through things like windows, glass doors, and of course it just bounces off the walls and the cabinetry around your house. And that's what creates filtered light. Sunlight is such an important part of having a really successful garden, and understanding the intensity and what that does to certain areas in your garden is key. So remember, full sun, part shade, or fully shaded areas, and understanding what plants grow best in those areas is key. Thanks for watching. Till next time.